right. Well, let me know if anyone can hear me right now on the Facebook Live. Having a couple technical difficulties with what exactly is going on here with the Facebook. I think this might have fixed it, but I'm not exactly sure. So let's see, can anyone hear me? Okay, so yeah, I can hear myself now. We'll just have to go back there and change the audio when we get ready for our next cut-in. So we should be live now. You should be able to hear me. Sorry for the little technical difficulties. We kind of got a lot going on here between cut-ins and kind of the weather going on, trying to keep everyone up to date and safe. So that should be better. So here's kind of what we're going on right now. We've got the weather warn day in place for today. Areas to the south and west of Macon, really everyone has a severe threat today, but the highest potential for severe threat is south and west of Macon, where there could be numerous severe storms. The primary threat will be for damaging winds up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. Very large hail is also possible, and with all of these kind of downpours that we're going to get, we could get some flash flooding. We do have a flood watch in place for really areas Jones County southward and to the west as well. So here's kind of what the radar loop looks like. So over really the next maybe 24, 48 hours, we're kind of going to get these bands of a lot of these thunderstorms. It's not going to be all day rain, downpours, and lightning and thunderstorms. Really, it's going to be kind of coming in waves. So we're getting one of the waves right now. It may die off really in the afternoon, and then it comes back. So it's really going to be, we're not going to be one and done and then in the clear. We really have the threat for some of these waves to be coming through for the next the rest of today and even some of tomorrow morning as well. So definitely going to be pretty active here in the weather center. So this is what the current radar looks like right now. I think I heard a rumble of thunder here at the station, but definitely hearing the rumbles of thunder over Macon County right now, Houston County, getting a lot of the lightning right over, moving over 75 for right now, but really areas through Montezuma, just north, seeing a lot of the rain, Marshallville, Potterville over towards Taylor County and Butler as well. Gonna get some more of this very heavy downpour. This is the red on the radar, so that's showing that really heavy downpour and all of this lightning. So I'm sure it's pretty loud there as well. Perry even getting hit with some of the thunder and lightning. Fort Valley getting some moderate downpours, but starting to pick up the rain even through Crawford County, Macon-Bibb County. So today, definitely a good idea is to stay weather aware. So this is what our kind of storm threat looks like. So that dark red through Taylor, Macon, Crisp, Dooley, Sumter counties, that's a 4 out of 5 for severe storm threat level. That's a moderate risk. We could see numerous severe storms that are likely in this area. So if you live in this area, definitely want to have a way to get multiple alerts and take the severe thunderstorms pretty seriously today, as they could cause some pretty strong damage, not only from strong winds that could knock trees and power lines, but even could have some large hail today that could really also do some damage. So if you get a warning, make sure you really want to download the WGXA SkyWatch weather app, because you get the warnings for your area and you can zoom in on the radar for your exact location, so that if there is a warning, you really do want to stay inside so that you don't get hit by any of the hail or anything that could be falling or lightning or anything like that. So definitely still a good idea just to keep your eye to the sky throughout today and into tomorrow. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for saying hello. Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday to you as well. And so here's the flood watch that we've got going on. Areas kind of shaded here could see like almost 2 to 4 inches of rain. So this flood watch means that the conditions are favorable for there to be some flooding, especially coming out of rivers or streams from the heavy downpours, but we could also see flash flooding, which comes specifically from the rain. So if you do see any kind of ponding on the roads today too, you never really want to drive through that. It's hard to tell how deep the water is, so just be careful about that as well. So in terms of kind of breaking down the potential risks, really damaging winds and large hail are the biggest ones. They could really be with any of the storms throughout the day today, or really some of even tomorrow morning as well. So damaging winds, large hail, flooding becomes an increasing risk. The farther into the day we go, the more that it starts to rain. It's kind of going to pack up over top of itself. Tornadoes during these morning hours, probably not going to get any tornadoes. But as we get towards the afternoon hours, we kind of get some of that daytime heating. Could have some extra shear in the atmosphere that causes that rotation. So they can't be ruled out. They're on the lower end, but they're still possible with the storms for today. So as I was kind of talking about earlier, it's not going to be kind of an all day rain. It's going to come in waves over the next 24 to 48 hours. So let's kind of play this through here. This is around 10 o'clock, 11, lunchtime. See kind of that heavy downpour that's moving Warner Robins and southward through Sumter County, Crisp, Dooley County along 75. Now, this may move a little slower or faster, but it's kind of to show you that there's a wave, so we get a little lull in the action. And then through the evening tonight, this is around 6 o'clock, we get another kind of band of some strong storms that comes through. So it's going to be hit or miss exact with the timing, but most of us probably will see some sort of rain, and any of these storms could turn severe, especially for areas south of Macon. That's kind of the big area, but all of us are under a severe threat for today. So then it's out of here by 11 o'clock tonight. We get a few dry hours. We head into the morning tomorrow, again around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, maybe around this time. The storms will fire through once again, and then it kind of lulls out. And then I think we'll begin to dry out as we get towards Thursday night. We could have a few more storms, but heading into Friday, it's looking a lot better. So they're kind of have these little spokes of energy that are riding along this front that's popped out over top of us, that's stalled out over us. And it's kind of throwing those waves in our direction. So it's going to kind of be, the rain comes and then it might stop for a little bit and then it'll be back. But any of these storms could turn severe. And we could see quite a few of them turn severe as well. So definitely still a good idea to keep your eye to the sky. So breaking it down kind of all together once again for the weather warn day. The weather warn day is in place for today, but we even could have a few strong storms tomorrow morning as well. But the main impact is really for today with numerous severe storms. Again, for areas especially south of Macon, but anyone could see the severe storms as well today, as we all are under some sort of severe risk. The primary threat will be for damaging winds and very large hail, maybe up to baseball-sized hail, golf ball-sized hail. So definitely if you get a severe thunderstorm warning, you really want to take it seriously today. Stay inside in case you get any of those downed trees, power lines. You definitely don't want to be outside in the thunderstorms anyway. But even with the heavy downpours of rain, could get some flash flooding in areas, maybe through Jones County and south with that flood watch that's in place. So yeah, we got kind of a pretty active pattern that's going on here as we're going throughout your day today and into tomorrow. As we get towards Friday, the rain kind of trends begin to die down, but today and tomorrow especially are the big days, but really today. So let's go back over to the kind of the radar loop right now. So let's see who's getting most of the rain. So as we look maybe on a wider view, let me see if I can kind of pull up an easier wider view over here. So this is kind of the larger image of kind of what's back further behind us. So right now we actually don't have any severe thunderstorms out there. So that's some good news, but notice it's not kind of like there's not a lot of heavy downpours forever to the west of us, but over towards Birmingham and in towards Alabama, that's really going to still be heading east into our direction. Again, we get that little break, and then maybe in the evening tonight, 5, 6 o'clock, another kind of round of storms comes through. So it's not going to be an all-day rain, but kind of that's what's happening behind us right now. There's also frequent lightning over towards Birmingham and Montgomery in Alabama, and this again should be heading almost directly due east into our area. So there'll be quite a lot of some downpours for today and into tomorrow. So let's get back maybe a little bit closer to home. So we are picking up some of the lightning coming up through Macon-Bibb County right now. Warner Robins, I'm sure hearing some of that lightning, but especially through Perry. If you're driving along 75 between Perry and Unadilla, maybe even a little farther north in Byron, you may be driving through some heavy downpours this morning. Over in Macon County, I think they're getting kind of the bulk of the lightning right now. They're getting the heavy downpours. Let's see if I can query this, see what the radar is indicating. Excuse me, what might be on the radar. This is the time. I wanted a little bit of the rainfall. So the radar is indicating the rainfall rate over 5.5 inches. So that is definitely some blinding rain, especially since we're kind of early in the morning like this. So if you're driving near Montezuma, Marshallville, even along 75, I think it's still kind of having that red on the radar. So this is the radar saying almost 4 inches of rain per hour. So if you're driving out the road heading south on 75 this morning, maybe take it a bit slow. Remember, you never want to park under underpasses if you are going to pull off to the side of the road. You really want to pull off at an exit. It would be way safer to pull off at an exit so you can kind of wait there versus being on the highway, but of course pulling over could be a safe option if you don't feel comfortable driving in this. Take it slow, turn on your blinkers. But really, if you want to get off the road, you really want to get off at an exit or somewhere on a ramp so that it would be a little bit safer. The cars aren't moving as fast around you. But the band of these storms will be taking place throughout the day today. So let me see if I can pull this up. So we have another cut in at 7:56. So I can't run too long here. We are going to leave the rain up here. So we'll kind of come back periodically throughout the morning to be able to do this and kind of give you the latest updates with what's going on with the radar and with any of the severe thunderstorm warnings. So you really do want to have some kind of way of getting severe thunderstorm warnings, or even if there's a tornado warning that's issued for today. So really the SkyWatch weather app, the best way to do that, make sure you turn on your notifications, put in where you are on the app so that it gives you the location and the warnings for you specifically so you don't get all the other ones. And if you have the WGXA News app, we also push the severe thunderstorm warnings there as well. So having multiple ways to be able to kind of get these is always really the best option, especially when we have a pretty strong severe threat for this afternoon. So here's kind of the last radar loop again. So yeah, we're getting some of those heavy downpours right now. Some of that blinding rain, especially if you're driving 75 south right now through Houston County. Definitely getting a lot of the rains. But if you're joining us live anywhere, definitely feel free to say hello in the comments, ask any questions. Hi, LaShonda, how are you? Good morning. If you have any questions, anything that's going on, anything you want to ask or anything. So yeah, we'll kind of get the spokes of rain. Let me show you maybe the models again, just in case if anyone hasn't seen it quite yet. So again, it's not going to be all day rain. We're going to kind of get these bands of the storm. So this is around lunchtime today. Getting some of that heavy downpours once again, but notice behind it, the rain stops. And then we get into this afternoon around 5, 6 o'clock. We get a pretty strong burst of some of the heavy downpours. So we'll kind of have a little break and then it'll activate again really in time for the next newscast. And then, as we go to bed, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it gets to dry out again. Heading into Thursday morning though, out the door again, maybe around this time. Could have some storms really set up like we have at this time. So again, heading out the door tomorrow morning, could still have a few more heavy downpours. And then we begin to dry out. We still could have a few kind of little impulses of showers and storms throughout the day on Thursday, but we really begin to dry out for Friday. Today though is going to be the big day for some of the severe storms that we've got going on. So breaking it down one more time before we kind of put this on a little pause and let the radar loop. The weather warning is in place for today. Numerous severe storms are possible. The primary threats for damaging winds and very large hail. So if you have any warnings over you, definitely take it seriously and get inside in case you don't really want to get hit by any of the lightning or the hail or anything that could fall over from the strong winds. And we could have some flash flooding. So if you're out driving on the road and you see some ponding, try to avoid that if at all possible. Okay. So I'm going to leave this radar looping on here and we will kind of come back with an update. I'm going to say around 8:15, we'll do another update with this and then we'll kind of play it by ear. We are doing live cut-ins also on ABC 16. So Gary will have some of the latest with that. If you're at home and able to turn on the TV, Gary will have the latest with the live cut-in. He will be doing that at 7:56. So we'll have that as well. Then I'll be back on here at 8:15. So let me add the little text to let y'all know we'll be back. Let me add it up here. We'll be back for a little update at 8:15. Otherwise, just stay weather aware throughout the day today. We'll come back with a bit of an update. Hi, Deborah. Swimming lessons at 2 to 4. How is it looking? At 2 to 4, I would maybe keep your eye to the sky. We could have some storms really developing. I would say really play it by ear, but I would probably err on the side of caution with these storms today, especially with the kind of severe risk that we have. It's a pretty uncommon at the heights that we do have the shading for our kind of severe thunderstorm risks. We have some of our area under a 3 and a 4 out of 5. So I would probably really err on the side of caution for swimming lessons today, especially if it's outdoors, because of the storms kind of firing up. Again, we'll kind of get it with the lulls and it kind of stops and comes back up, but I would err on the side of caution. Keep an eye on the radar throughout the afternoon, but I would probably err on the side of caution with that. But yeah, we'll be back at 8:15 and I will see you then. All right, it's now 8:15. Good morning, everyone. As of the past half an hour, there haven't really been any updates in terms of severe warned storms, but a lot of the thunderstorm activity is starting to creep up across the mid-state right now. So I want to kind of take you through the radar. If you're still joining us on Facebook or anywhere live, if you have any questions, want to say hi in the comments, definitely say hello. Love to have a chat with how your day is going. Yeah, but here's what we've got going on. We still have no really severe thunderstorm warnings, even across areas further west of us into Alabama. So that is some good news that there's not a lot of severe weather going on, but definitely still some heavy downpours, frequent lightning. Some of the more moderate downpours right now, really from Macon south, just north of Crisp County, getting a lot of the kind of the bulk of the action, but really the heaviest downpours kind of got this band of lightning stretching from Bleckley County over to northern Pulaski County, north of Hawkinsville. A lot of the lightning strikes over through here, down southern Houston County and into Dooley County, right over Unadilla right now, getting a lot of the lightning strikes. Still getting a lot of lightning even over into Macon County, over Montezuma, starting to quiet down over Perry and Warner Robins, but still kind of got this leading edge almost of some of the heavy downpours right through here, kind of moving directly due east. So it's about to really cross over into Hawkinsville here, Wallace, Finlayson, down to Wilcox County, and then it's going to eventually make its way over into Dodge County, then Lawrence County. So again, for today, not all of the day will have rain. We'll have kind of waves of these showers and storms that move through. Once this one moves through, it'll be quiet for a few hours, and then there'll be another kind of batch of the storms that moves through. So luckily, none of those severe storms are out there right now, but definitely still a good idea to keep your eye to the skies. This is what it looks like with a severe storm threat. So this is a level 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 meaning like there could be numerous severe storms, especially in that dark shaded area, but all of us are under at least some sort of severe weather threat for today. So still it's a good idea to have multiple ways of getting warnings, just in case there's one over your area. Of course, the best way to do that is by downloading the WGXA SkyWatch weather app, especially putting on your location, because it'll give you the warnings exactly for your area. So not only do we have a threat for some of the severe storms as well, but we could be kind of seeing this turn into a flood or flash flooding event, as we do have a flood watch in place for the area shaded in green through Thursday evening. So we could maybe see 2 to 4 inches of rain, especially for these areas. And if you live maybe near the river, near a river or some open streams, those could flood with all the heavy downpours. We could also get some flash flooding, which comes specifically from the rain. If you're driving on the roads and you see some ponding, try to avoid that so that you can kind of stay safe and keep your car having some traction on the road. So breaking it down for the potential risks. Damaging winds and large hail really looks to be the biggest threats. Damaging winds up to about 60 miles per hour could down trees, power lines, and we could also get some large hail with some of these storms, potentially golf ball, maybe even baseball sized hail if that does come into fruition. Flooding is going to be more of a concern through the afternoon hours as more of the rain is going to be falling. Tornadoes, they're on the lower end, but they're non-zero. We could get a little quick spin up of a tornado with some of these storms, but really the primary threat will be for damaging winds or large hail if we do see those severe storms begin to pop up again. We don't have any out there right now, but we could definitely, I think by this afternoon, we could begin to see some activity start to pop up. So here's lunchtime today. Once again, really still heavy downpours south of Macon right now, along 75 down towards Americus. So we'll still have some of this rain for a while, but notice behind that around 2 o'clock or so, we could get a little bit of the break in the action. But again, it's just going to pop up more storms by around 5, 6 o'clock. This is going to be, I think, the heaviest time for any of the severe thunderstorms to be popping up, the heavy downpours. Was that a severe thunderstorm warning?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yay. We've got one now. We've got one. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning out right now. Let's see what that is. It's a bit slow. Okay, so here we go. So we've got, hi.
This next cut in will just be weather since you just got warnings
Okay.
for GMA.
Okay. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning now for these areas. So this is for Crisp, Dooley, Pulaski, and Wilcox County, especially with this kind of band of storms that's moving through right now. This should be severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Pulaski County, Wilcox, Dooley, Sumter, Crisp County until this is in place till 9 a.m. So we've got about 40 minutes with this. This is for a severe thunderstorm was located along a line of extending near Vienna. This is for damaging winds, 60 miles per hour right now. Doesn't look like there's any hail in the storm at this time. This is mostly for strong winds, and it kind of is giving that signature of some strong winds, kind of the line of storms that is pushing through, kind of this really heavy batch of some storms right now. Let me get a little closer. So this is a severe warned area, but you can really see the heavy downpours that's beginning to push through. And this is going to continue to push south and east, further into Wilcox County. Right now it's in Dooley County, but it's going to push further into Crisp County as well, as we get that latest radar loop. So we do have some activeness going on. I think that was for the same thing, right? Yeah. So maybe if we can see if the radar is indicating any hail, but I don't think there's any hail with this storm. There is a little bit of hail that the radar is showing. It's about an inch size, so about a quarter size hail that the radar is indicating. Not sure if this is actually falling, but the radar is indicating about quarter size hail right now that's falling kind of just east of Unadilla, 75, Pinehurst. This is going to push kind of south and east here over into Pulaski County, down further into Wilcox County. So this is kind of our active threat now at this point. Hi Nell, how are you? Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest threat. So the waves of kind of showers and storms are going to come day by day, and this is kind of breaking it all down. It's for today, the weather warned day, where we could see numerous severe storms. I think especially by 5, 6 o'clock, we could have quite a lot of severe storms out there. The primary threat for them will be for damaging winds and very large hail, which is kind of what we got going on for the severe storm that's out there right now. And we could even see some flash flooding with a lot of the heavy downpours, especially if it's going to rain in the same area multiple times today. That could really cause a lot of ponding and flash flooding from some of the heaviest downpours that's going on. So let me see if I can pull up the chat room. I feel like that's not correct now. Am I hearing the thunder? Is that thunder or is that a truck? Dang it. Okay. Yeah, so this is for this thunderstorm warning. It's in place till 9 o'clock. So really for today, you really do want to take the severe thunderstorm warning seriously. I know we get them kind of pretty often, especially kind of during summertime storms. Sometimes we get a pop-up storm that does kind of have a severe warned issue, but especially for today, we do have some pretty high risk for some of the severe storms. And easily some of these heavy wind gusts could really down some power lines or some trees, especially if there's large hail in this. You really want to be inside. You don't want to be in this outside, kind of in the heavy downpours or the lightning. So really, I would say take the severe thunderstorm warnings pretty seriously today, as most of our viewing areas either under a 3 or even some of us are under a 4. So this is dark red here. That is a 4 out of 5 for the severe storm threat. That means there can be numerous severe storms. Most of us are under a 3, and then this is a 2. So all of us are under some sort of severe storm threat for today. So definitely still very good idea to just stay updated with some of these warnings. And if there's one issued for your area, kind of to bring things inside and just wait it out until the severe storm has passed. But again, it's not going to be like that all day rain. We'll get these bands of showers and storms over and over again. What time is the next cut in, Gary? Is it right now?
In about 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Do you want to come over here and do that then?
Yeah, let me wait.
Okay.
We're going to do that, and then we're just going to do strictly weather.
Okay.
All right, good Wednesday morning, everyone. 8:27 is our time. It is a weather-worn day here in Middle Georgia due to the potential of strong to severe storms going on across our area. Meteorologist Ryan Mirando, myself, we're here this morning, and he'll be on social media as well, updating you. And right now, we're giving you a live update. Looking at our radar right now, you can see a large area of rain, precipitation falling across Middle Georgia. Most of this from Macon northward is just light rain, but looking south of Macon, down toward the Cordell area, Americus, over toward the Montezuma area. Pretty heavy thunderstorms going on there right now. Look at all the lightning being detected there as well. That's one area of thunderstorms there, and just to our west, we're watching another area of thunderstorms. Now, this area here seems to be moving slightly southwest, but watching this area here, it seems to be, or southeast rather, this area seems to be moving mostly to the east. We'll put this in motion. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. And we do have a warning I'm going to mention as well. Notice this is kind of sagging off to the southeast, but notice this right here seems to be pretty much moving due east. So we'll be watching Macon southward for the potential of those strong to severe storms during the morning. Now we do have one warning that we already have in effect, and this right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. This is for Crisp, Dooley, Pulaski, and Wilcox County until 9 o'clock this morning here in this orange shaded area here. That is a severe thunderstorm warning now that is in effect for about the next 32 minutes until 9 o'clock. Look at all that lightning being detected. Not only that, we've already had some hail being detected right now here in that area. You can see with these shaded areas here, that is our hail tracker. So that's one of the main ingredients and things we're looking at with these storms is going to be hail, also possibly some gusty winds, looking at a level 4, level 3, level 2 all across the area for the potential of a few strong storms today. Not only that, we have a flood watch in effect for pretty heavy rain for a good chunk of the area until tomorrow evening.
All right, everyone, so we're back on Facebook now. Oh, hello. All right, everyone, so we still got this severe thunderstorm warning out here right now. Most of our eyes are on this. Kind of was one batch of the storms that were moving eastward. It's kind of taken a big dive down here to the southeast. So notice kind of as these storms were, let me see if I can change this. Notice as the storms kind of began to push in this direction, they were kind of moving east, and then this one large area kind of just came together and congealed into a line that's kind of diving towards the south and east pretty quickly. So starting still to move over into Pulaski County and Wilcox County, still seeing the heaviest downpours. It's right about to head into Cordell right now. So especially for driving along 75. So here's Vienna 75. I'm sure there's a lot of slowdown right there because this is some strong line of a strong signature of some strong winds, a lot of strongs. And this is going to head into Wilcox County, Finlayson, into Rochelle here, and then into Dodge County as well over the next little while. Dodge County, you're not in the severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but if this continues to hold up, still seeing even some heavy downpours over near Cochran in Bleckley County, Hawkinsville getting a lot of the heavy downpours. And this is all kind of shifting to the south and east here. So Eastman about to get hit with some of that rain. So let's put a little tracker on this here over the next little while. This is moving probably about 40 miles per hour or so, 35. So let's see if I can put a bit of a tracker on this. I'm going to extend it out a bit farther from the severe thunderstorm warning because this is still a pretty strong line of the storms right now. So over the next half hour, this kind of continues to move south and east here. So we got Cordele, especially at 8:36, Plainfield at 8:42, Eastman 8:45, Rochelle 8:47, Abbeville at 8:50, Arabi at 8:53, Chauncey at 9 a.m. So this is going to kind of continue to push those at the south and east here. This looks like the strong line of storms right now. It's a pretty defined kind of congealing of a line of some of the heavy downpours in the storm right now. And this is coming with some hail as well. So let's look at that hail tracker as well. It looks like it's lower than what it was earlier. Some of the history on the hail was showing that it was a bit more defined here when it was over Unadilla about maybe 15 minutes ago or so. And then as this kind of continues to head further to the south and east, it's weakening in terms of the hail that the radar is indicating. So that's also some good news. But really just south and west of Hawkinsville towards Wallace right now, Finleyson, you could see some of the small hail that's falling over your area. So definitely keep that in mind. Right now it doesn't look like too much hail is otherwise being picked up. Maybe a little bit just south of Cochrane because there was a lot of lightning strikes here. Let's see what it looks like on the actual reflectivity and some of the lightning strikes. So let's run the lightning. There we go. Yeah, so just south of Cochrane right now where you're getting a lot of the heavy downpours. There could be some small hail embedded in the storm right now. That's kind of the big picture with this. Otherwise, not everyone is seeing the rain right now. This is kind of what it looks like on a wider view. Areas of Macon, we're getting probably a bit of a light to moderate soaking. Over towards Dublin now, getting hit with some of the rain. We have the one severe thunderstorm warning, but look at all this lightning out here. This kind of congealing of this line. It's pushing south and east, but the severe thunderstorm warnings in portions of Sumter, Dooley, Crisp, Wilcox, and Pulaski County. This is in place until 9 a.m. right now for the potential of some damaging winds and some hail that we're watching out. But over towards Forsyth, getting maybe some sprinkles. Still Butler and Montezuma getting some of the lightning still, but there's even more rain out farther to the west, right now along the Georgia-Alabama line in between, just north of Columbus and south of LaGrange, 85 right now. They're getting some of that rain and the heavy downpours. This is going to head our direction as well. This kind of pushes further to the east. But let me maybe widen it out even more. See if I can click this. No, that does not work. So here's kind of the wider view with being able to see farther away. Notice even over towards Birmingham, the rain is already starting to quiet down. So there's going to be kind of waves and activity of the kind of ups and downs. So we're in and up right now. It's going to probably kind of rain itself out as this pushes further eastward. We could see more of the severe warned storms. And then we'll get a little lull during the late morning, early afternoon. And then I think around 5 or 6 o'clock, we'll get another uptick in quite a lot of severe activity that is possible. I think around the afternoon, 5 or 6 o'clock could really be when this is hectic. So here's around lunchtime right now, 12 o'clock. Still have probably that one kind of batch of thunderstorms that's over Alabama. We'll be pushing over kind of the I-75 corridor south of 16. We get a little bit of the lull in the action around 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Not a lot of rain out there, lots of clouds, probably pretty humid as well. And then as we get towards 5 and 6 o'clock, another band of some really heavy downpours, some frequent lightning. This could come with some of the kind of the biggest coverage in severe storms. Notice kind of the radar's indicating some of that darker red kind of pilling up there. So that could be some of the severe storms around 6, 7 o'clock. So the evening tonight, I think, will be the most active. But it's out of here by 9 o'clock. We get a little bit of that lull again. And then waking up tomorrow morning, even more of the rain could be kind of in our area. So this is tomorrow a little bit around this time, around 8 o'clock. And then once again, there could be some heavy downpours, frequent lightning. So we kind of get a little bit of this wave action where it comes and it goes. But it's not going to be an all-day rain. But the big issue is that if it rains kind of in this area again south of Macon over and over again, we could see some flooding issues or some flash flooding. So if you see any kind of pile-ups on the road with water or flooded ponding on the roads, you definitely don't want to drive through that. It's hard to know how deep the water is. Try to go around it if you can. But it is pretty rare to see the kind of the risk of severe storms that we have. This is this darker area of red. That's a 4, which is pretty uncommon to see that. That means we could see numerous severe storms really in that area, which stretches over through Mississippi and Alabama, but we're kind of on the edge of it. Other areas, this is a 3 and then a 2, so it's pretty active here for today, and that's why we do have the weather warn day that'll be issued for this. So kind of breaking it down altogether with that weather warn day again, just a good idea to stay weather aware in case we do have any more severe storms today, especially throughout the afternoon hours for damaging winds or large hail, and even some flash flooding will be possible. Downloading the WGXA SkyWatch weather app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, really the best idea to get warnings because you can put in your location and it gives you warnings specifically for where you are, not all of the warnings. We do have one warning out there, that's right now. That's in place until about 9 o'clock, so around another 23 minutes or so of this severe thunderstorm warning that's out. Again, this is for damaging winds. It does look like it is weakening. Let me see if I can kind of slow this down, which is some good news. Notice kind of, it looked like it was really diving to the south as a pretty strong and very uniform line. Notice it kind of, it's almost like, looks like it's clean with this kind of defined line between the rain and the not rain. But as it's kind of pushing south and east, it looks like it's starting to kind of break apart and kind of lose some of its intensity. So that is still some good news, but really over Hawkinsville right now, getting that heavy downpour. And then this severe thunderstorm warning is in place until 9 o'clock. Definitely do want to take the severe thunderstorm warnings pretty seriously today, as we could get quite a few more, and you really don't want to be outside in this frequent lightning. If there's any kind of down trees or power lines or any of the hail that you definitely don't want to get hit with. So if you see a thunderstorm warning pop up over you, you definitely want to take shelter, get inside so that you can stay extremely safe. All right, so that's really the latest updates with this. I think let's see how this plays out on the radar. Again, we could still see some hail in this area, in this watch box here that continues to push south and east. Dodge County, especially Eastman, about to get hit with this. It's moving right over Cochrane right now, then this is going to move into Lawrence County and over into Dublin here very shortly with some of the heavy downpours. But Dublin getting hit with a pretty moderate soaking, not really getting any lightning strikes for you though. So let's kind of let this play out here, I think, for the next little bit, just to see what's showing up. And then we'll come back with an update, I'd say around maybe 9:05. We'll actually come back at 9 for an update. We'll do a 9 a.m. update. Unless if there's something else that pops up, I'll say we'll come back at around 9 a.m. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. We can always answer them at some point, even if we're not kind of on here. I'm still watching the stream. The latest updates, they actually did just cancel the severe thunderstorm warning for Sumter County, so it's been kind of cut off now, just for portions of Dooley and Crisp, Wilcox, and Pulaski counties until 9 o'clock. So this will continue to push south and east. Just keep an eye on that storm if you live in that area. And then we will be back at 9 o'clock. We'll be back at 9 for an update. All right, we'll see you then. I'll push this over here too.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So I won't need the clicker. Okay. I'm going to pull this desk over here. Are we rolling on social? Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. It is a rather stormy morning here on your Wednesday across Middle Georgia. We're looking at a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in effect right now across the area. We've been watching a line of showers and thunderstorms moving into our area pretty much all morning. Let's zero in on some of the severe thunderstorm warnings we have right now. The latest we have is a severe thunderstorm warning here that has since been issued for, let me get on the other side so you can see that. It is Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County, and it's this area right here. It does include the city of Eastman, as you can see, some pretty heavy rain moving into the city of Eastman as we speak. A lot of lightning detected there with that storm as well. And Ryan is zooming in on that currently, and you can see all the lightning that is detected with that pretty heavy rain. The red color, of course, the darker the red, the heavier the rain. And then, of course, the lighter shading is the lighter rain. So you can see moving into Eastman and into Telfair County, into that area right there where we have some pretty heavy rain. Near the Bryant area, Chester, east of Chester, got some heavy rain going on there with a lot of lightning detected there as well. And again, that is with that newest severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued until 9:15 this morning. And again, that's for Dodge, Lawrence, and Telfair and Wheeler County. Now, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning issued earlier this morning. It's this area right here. Has been shaved back just a little bit, but we still have the warning out for Crisp, Dooley, Pulaski, and Wilcox County, and that will be until 9 o'clock this morning. So we still got about maybe another 12 to 13 minutes left on that particular warning, and you can see some pretty heavy rain going on right there with all the red color there. And again, look at all the lightning we have detected in that particular storm as well. So a pretty big complex of thunderstorms rolling through this area right here this morning. And not only the thunder, the lightning, the heavy rain, but we also have the possibility of some gusty winds going on with some of these storms as well. We could see gusts 60, 70 plus miles per hour with some of these storms. Taking a look at some of our Doppler winds, you can see again, you can see where we do have some pretty heavy winds going on there with some of these storms as well, possibly near the Eastman area. A little bit of gusts going on right there. You can see velocity about 40, jumped up to 53 miles per hour. So not sure if that's actually the winds on the ground, but we just know that there's some pretty gusty winds going on in that area over toward the Eastman area. And of course, we can hear the thunder rolling all across Middle Georgia right now. Ryan, let's show the hail tracker right now, because this has been another big story with these storms that we've been dealing with. Is that a tornado warning? Okay, we just had a tornado warning issued, so we're going to zoom in on that right now. And as we were on the air speaking, we had that tornado warning. And I think Ryan was pretty much zeroed in on that just now with those Doppler winds. And this tornado warning just issued. Now it's inside of this severe thunderstorm warning going on here. So let's go ahead and show you the stats on that particular tornado warning. And of course, it does include the city of Eastman, where we were just pointing out there, where we had some pretty nasty weather going on there with some very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning going on with that particular storm. And Ryan's going to be joining me here in just a second. We're going to be looking at this particular storm and this tornado warning that actually was just issued. And we're about to go live on television as well. Here's the tornado warning that has been issued right now. You can see it as a tornado warning here, issued until 9:15 this morning, and that does include the counties of Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties. That is that tornado warning just issued. So if you are in this area, you need to take cover right now because this tornado warning just issued now, just a few minutes ago, until 9:15 this morning. So that's about another 25 minutes or so. That is, again, for the Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County. And I guess Ryan will let us know when we are coming up on the air, on television. Right now we're on social media. Meteorologist Ryan Mirando is in the studio with me this morning over in the Weather Center. And he and I will be tracking this storm this morning as well as we continue to look at the pretty nasty weather that we're having here across middle Georgia this morning. So definitely a lot of heavy rain going on across the area, heavy thunderstorms going on. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings already issued, and now we have this tornado warning that just popped up as we were doing our social media live. And so this, again, tornado warning for Wednesday, 9:15 a.m., Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County. Meteorologist Ryan Miranda is joining us over in the Weather Center. I'm going to send it over to Ryan and let him talk about what's going on over there as well.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so we do have the tornado warning that's out right now until 9:15. So about maybe 25 minutes or so of this tornado warning being in place. It's in portions of Dodge County, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties. So if you live in kind of this red watch box, then you really want to take shelter immediately right now. Gary, let me control this for a little bit. Thanks, sorry. But you really do want to take shelter immediately if you live in this area. So let me zoom in exactly to where this tornado warning is. So Eastman is included in this tornado warning right now. This is moving towards Chauncey and Jaybird Springs. So if you live in this area, you really want to take shelter immediately. Hi there, I'm meteorologist Rhonda with the SkyWatch weather alert. We have a tornado warning that's currently out for portions of Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties until 9:15. If you live in this area, you really want to take shelter immediately as there are signs of rotation that is out in the atmosphere right now. We were talking today as a weather warning day, as there's multiple now severe thunderstorm warnings out, and we have this one tornado warning. So Eastman, you are included in this tornado warning moving towards Chauncey, and also McRae is on the kind of the outer edges of this tornado warning as well. So if you live in this area, you want to get as far away from the outdoors as possible. You want to put as many layers between that outdoors and you. You really want to be into an interior room. A closet is really the best on the lowest floor of your home, as there's signs of the potential for there being a tornado out in the atmosphere. So let's show you some of the kind of these Doppler winds right now to show you where the potential of the rotation could be. So really what we're looking for is this kind of dives deep. The radar is able to kind of have technology that passes through the rain and is able to see some of the actual wind. So notice kind of that uptick of almost like this yellow just south and east of Eastman right now. And the red is really the winds moving away from the radar and the green is moving towards. So when you see them right next to each other, that can be the sign of kind of that notching and that turning in the atmosphere, that there could be some rotation. So right now, it looks like most of the rotation is kind of right into this area in between, just kind of south and east of Eastman and 23 at Chauncey right now. So let's maybe zoom in a tiny bit closer so that we can see some of the actual road names that's maybe down here. So Godwinsville, you're really over the rotation right now, but this is going to be moving over 165 over towards Jaybird Springs Road. You're really in the path of the storm right now with some of the possible rotation that's currently out there in the atmosphere right now. So see that kind of ball of yellow that's on the radar. I'm going to query this to see what is the rotation or what's the winds could be. So the radar is indicating a possible velocity of almost 60 miles per hour. So that's pretty strong. And on the other side of it, near the green, that's around -8 or more like 8 miles per hour in the other direction. So kind of when you get them very, very close to each other, it gets some of that notching effect in place. So notice that the gate-to-gate shear, that's really the kind of the winds going in the opposite direction for that potential to be some kind of rotation that's possible and out into the atmosphere right now. So again, this is a tornado warning if you're just joining us for portions of, we've got it out for Dodge, Telfair, Lawrence, and Wheeler County until 9:15. And I really probably want to widen this view out to show you kind of what's happening on the radar in general. Today is a weather warn day in place as we have multiple bands of showers and storms today with the potential of them turning severe for this afternoon. So let's maybe show some of the actual warnings and the what's going on for right now. So there's some of the lightning. So we have one even severe thunderstorm warning, and then we have that tornado warning that's embedded again for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties. You're really into the push for this right now. And if you also live in this area, if you have any pictures and are seeing any kind of hail, of course, use the chime-in tab on our website, WGXA.tv. We'd love to see some of the pictures. If you see any hail today anywhere and you can take a picture of it and show us, that would be pretty awesome. And of course, To get the latest with all of the warnings that will be coming out today, you really want to download the WGXA SkyWatch weather app, as we do have a weather warn day that is in place for today, as some of our viewing areas even under a 4 out of 5 for the risk for some severe potential. That means we could see numerous severe storms. The primary threat really as we get towards the afternoon will be for damaging winds or some very large hail. It's also possible. And if kind of these bands of rains are coming kind of hour after hour, as we get throughout the day, we could see a little bit of a lull around maybe 2, 3 o'clock. But as we get towards 5 and 6 o'clock, we'll get another kind of big burst of some rain that could cause some flash flooding, especially if it falls over areas. So even after these kind of storms pushes over you this morning, you don't want to let your guard down yet, as more severe storms could be popping up over top of us. Gary, I think I'll toss it over to you with some of those latest updates with what is going on. Gary.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And again, if you are just joining us now, we do have a tornado warning just issued just a few minutes ago for a part of Middle Georgia. And you can see the stats on that right here, tornado warning, and it is in effect until 9:15 this morning. So that's in about another 14 minutes or so. And it is for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County. And it is, of course, this red shaded area right here. You can't hardly see it because all the lightning going on in that location there near the Eastman area, but look at all the lightning and heavy rain going on with that particular thunderstorm. And we also have an orange shaded box there where it's a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect in that area as well. And that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 9:15 as well. And that is for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, Wheeler County. So it's pretty nasty weather going on right there across that area. And Ryan, do we have the hail tracker we can pull up right now as well? Because not only do we have the tornado warning going on there, severe thunderstorm warning, we've also got some hail going on this morning. We told you this morning that would be one of the biggest threats with this particular storm system. We're picking up a little bit of hail size, about almost a ½ inch as we're showing up here north of the Eastman area. And then also just a little bit east of that, got another core of hail going on there, and then some south of that into that tornado warned area. So as you can see, that's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning going on here, because of the nasty weather, severe weather putting down that hail. Also the tornado warning that is in effect because of possible rotation being picked up by Doppler radar there. And right now the rotation doesn't seem to be quite as good as it maybe was a little bit earlier when we saw just a little bit of rotation and not a lot as far as rotation going on right now. So we'll just be having to watch and see if they allow this warning to go all the way to 9:15 or if they cancel it just a little bit early. But definitely still under that tornado warning until 9:15 this morning near the Eastman area. So again, if you are in the Eastman area, you definitely need to take precautions right now. Looking at the debris tracker, maybe just trying to see if I can see some dropout possibly from that. And it's not really evident as far as what we can see as far as any possible debris being picked up, non-meteorological. The radar looks out into the atmosphere and it looks for anything non-meteorological, which is not rain or hail or anything like that. Maybe it could be tree limbs, branches, leaves, or whatever, and it would display that here on the debris tracker. Nothing is really sticking out as any big evidence. So if we do have a rotation, it's not a very strong rotation, but nonetheless there is a rotation going on there. The Doppler radar did pick it up, and that's why the tornado warning was issued here for this area. So Ryan, I'll send it right back over to you to see if you have any more updates on what may be going on in that particular area.
All right, thank you, Gary. Yeah, there's no updates right now from the National Weather Service. We have 2 warnings out right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, and we do have the tornado warning. I wasn't able to log in to push this. It wasn't working. Oh, okay, that works. So then we do have the 2 warnings that are out for right now. Basically, they're south and west of Macon. So on a wider view, just to show you kind of what's going on generally. So we've really got a lot of rain out over our area right now. Almost everyone is seeing some sort of the rain, but the heaviest downpours and that frequent lightning right now is really down towards Eastman, Wilcox, and into Dodge County, southern Lawrence County, a little bit of Dublin still getting some of the heavy rain, but we've even got another warning that's out over Columbus right now. So what's going to happen throughout the rest of today? This kind of rain will continue to push eastward till about lunchtime or so, where we kind of get a lull in the action. And then as we get towards 5 and 6 o'clock, we could get another burst of some downpours that'll be pushing through. So today you still really want to stay weather aware and keep your eye to the skies. We're not done with the rain. Once this pushes through, we could get another kind of burst to be pushing through right now. But really our big focus right now, why we're on the air covering this, is for the tornado warning that is out there. The radar is indicating signs of rotation that's in the atmosphere. Again, this is out for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties until 9:15 a.m. So we've got another 15 minutes or so on this warning if it holds up for the entire time. But even outside of the warning, there's still frequent lightning over Cadwell, Eastman, Abbeville. This is pushing to the south and east. So let's see if we can find exactly where the rotation possibly still could be. So again, when we're diving deep into the Doppler winds and the storm relative velocity, we're really looking for the greens right next to the reds. That's showing that there could be some notching or some gate-to-gate shear that's showing rotation possible in the atmosphere. It looks rather broad now at this point. Can still see a little bit of some of the notching just north of Chauncey and Jaybird Springs right now. So if you live along Jaybird Springs Road, 165, anywhere near this area, you really do want to take shelter immediately. You want to put as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible. So Chauncey, Little Okmulgee State Park, McRae, I would be into your safe areas as well, as we're under this tornado warning for there potentially to be that rotation that's possible in the atmosphere. So New Bethel Church Road along 23, 319, all of these areas are in the path of this tornado warning. You really do want to take shelter for the next 15 minutes or so to see where this tornado warning is kind of going to be going and pushing through for today. So we've got an update with the severe thunderstorm warning. They might have extended it or kind of cut off some areas exactly where this is. So I think they've probably cut off some of the edge behind where the storm is. So we still have this severe thunderstorm warning that's out over the tornado warning for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties. The heaviest downpours, you can see that red out there on the radar, Abbeville, just east of Eastman now, moving towards McRae, Cadwell, a lot of frequent lightning out there right now. I'm sure it's very loud with all of the heavy downpours that's moving through. Let's see, can we pull up the Dublin cam? Do I want to do it here? Can you guys pull it up in the back? Thank you. Yeah, so this is a live lookout over Dublin. Can't really see a lot of the storm in the distance, but it's a gray sky. It's raining here in Dublin right now as well. Dublin, you are not under any kind of warning right now, but it's definitely going to be an active day today across the mid-state. Let me see, maybe I can try to pan the camera around, see if we can get a better view of exactly what could be going on. So this is a live lookout over Dublin. Let's see if we can kind of turn this around and get kind of a better shot if there may be one around the area. Just seeing, there's even some water on the camera. Not really seeing too much out in the distance. This could be some of the storms. So you can kind of see some of the cloud decks that's out further as this continues to pan over. So that could be some of the storms that's out further over into Dodge County, or some of those severe storms are out for right now. So, okay, so we've got another update with a tornado warning as well. FFC continues tornado warning for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties until 9:15. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Jaybird Springs, or 7 miles northwest of McRae, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So let's go back to that tornado warning and track it out again. If you live in this area, still inside of this red kind of warning box, you really still want to take shelter. Go on your phone, download the WGXA weather app, and kind of watch the radar with me and be into that area, as we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings. Scan that QR code on your screen. That's really the best way to get some of the warnings out for your area. You're going to want to download it, put exactly where you are, and it'll give you kind of real updates of when warnings are, especially with the large severe risk that we have today. You really do want to take these warnings very seriously, as that weather warn day is in place with numerous severe storms still beginning to fire up by the afternoon. So definitely download that app so you can really stay up to date with exactly what's going on. So let's go ahead and track out where this potential rotation is. Again, we're looking for the greens right next to the reds. So this is now passed over Jaybird Springs, but I'd still stay in your safe space right now. About to move over into Little Okmulgee State Park along 23 and McRae. This is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. So let's see if I can kind of pull up a little tracker on here for 40 miles per hour and move it eastward over the next 20 minutes or so. Now this is going to extend outside of the tornado warning, but still a Little Okmulgee State Park at 9:10, Avance at 9:13, Eric at 9:16. So this is headed really also towards McRae. So if you live in McRae, you still also want to be into that safe area. If you know anyone that lives here, give them a call, tell them that they have a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning over top of them, and to really take shelter and take this seriously, as we do have this tornado warning that's out for another 10 minutes, Gary. I'm going to toss it over back to you.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And again, we do want to stress the fact that if you have not yet downloaded the WGXA SkyWatch weather app, folks, right now would be a great time to do that, because not only right now, but during the afternoon as well, and possibly even into tonight, we have the potential for some strong to severe storms across middle Georgia. We are at that level 4, level 3, and even level 2 across our area all day today for the potential. So you can see the information right there on your screen. Go ahead and download it. Get up close to the phone, the TV with your phone, and take a picture of that QR code right there, and let's get that downloaded right now, because that is the best tool to have in times of severe weather here in middle Georgia. Because again, we're going to be seeing numerous storms, possibly even some more severe weather across the area as well. So let's take another look here at what we're looking at as far as the tornado warning that we still have in effect. We still have the tornado warning that's in effect for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County, and that is in effect until 9:15. That's going to be about another 9 minutes or so, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that is also in effect for Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler County. Pretty much the same counties there, so just know that the severe weather is not only here, but in other areas across middle Georgia is very much a potential today across the area. Now, one of the other things that we've been talking about, not only this tornado warning here, where, as Ryan just mentioned a few minutes ago, the rotation seems to be rather broad and very weak right now. We couldn't really find much of a rotation. However, the Doppler radar looking out there says there was signs of rotation in the upper atmosphere. So that's the reason that this tornado warning was issued for that particular area. Okay, thanks, Jeff. But now notice, look at the radar right now, because we're going to zoom in on some of this very, very heavy rain and the lightning being detected here as well. Look at all of this lightning being detected with this line of thunderstorms that is moving into the area, moving from west to east and southeast. Numerous lightning strikes there inside the warned areas. And of course, that's why we have that in effect. And we've also had some hail issues out there this morning as well, because we did have some hail being picked up by the radar earlier this morning, and still had a little bit showing up right now. And let's see if we can pull up some of that hail on our hail tracker. Notice we do have some hail being picked up here. It is in the tornado warned area, just south of the Cadwell area and east of Cadwell area. Got some hail being showing up right there according to our radar. Let's zoom in on that area just a little bit, because again, that is inside that tornado warned area, just north of the Jaybird Springs area. That's where we have a hail core going on there. Possibly, and you know, these storms, the potential was out there for possibly 2-inch hailstones. So that's some pretty big hail that could be falling to some of these locations as well. And then we'll look a little bit north of that area up here, near the Fountain Road, where we got another hail core going on there as well, where some hail could be falling. So in addition to some gusty winds, possibly with some of these thunderstorms, and not only that, with 1 or 2 tornado warnings that could be issued, as we have here now down into some of our southern counties, we have that potential for the hail out there as well. Not only that, you can get straight line winds from some of these thunderstorms as well. Winds could gust 60 to 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms as they move through. So this is going to be a real threat, not only this morning, but into this afternoon as well. Now, we may get a little bit of a break, as Ryan was mentioning to you earlier. We'll go back to our radar, and I'll show you something on the radar that I was looking at earlier. There's our middle Georgia area, and we'll go ahead and put that in motion. And notice we got a large area of showers, thunderstorms, some quite heavy, as you know, here down into near the Eastman and McRae area. And then up to west of the Macon-Warner Robins area, we have another area of thunderstorm activity. Notice here, that's moving due east. We also have a flood warning now that has been issued here near Columbus. So that's another aspect of this storm system, is the heavy rain that it's putting down. But I'm going to go out just a little bit farther to the east. And notice now how once this gets out of the area, but notice some of the redevelopment back here southeast of the Birmingham area. You notice right there's not a lot going on right there, but look at what happens here. So even though this moves through this morning, we could still have some more development right here that could be coming behind that, and this could be an ongoing thing pretty much all morning, but definitely once we get the heating of the day, we could see some of these thunderstorms fire up, and some of them could turn strong to severe as well. So right now I'll just toss it back over to Ryan and let him give you a little update of what's going over there in the Weather Center.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so we still do have 5 more minutes right now of this tornado warning that's in place for portions of Dodge, Lawrence, Telfair, and Wheeler counties, but they are going to allow this to expire at 9:15. So this means this tornado warning is not going to be extended. The rotation looks to be like it is falling apart. The National Weather Service is saying, quick note about the tornado warned storm. Rotation with this Boeing segment has since become more broad. However, they're still monitoring this closely. So this tornado warning will be allowed to expire. So we should be able to be off the air at 9:15, which is in about 4 minutes from now. However, really, I want everyone to stay weather aware today, as we still haven't had now one tornado warning. We've had a few severe thunderstorm warnings, and especially as we get towards 5 and 6 o'clock heading home from work around the evening time, we could get another pretty strong signature of these storms that'll be firing through. So notice also over here more towards the west near Columbus, this is a flash flood warning. This means that they are getting torrential downpours right now over Columbus, where there could be some ponding and flooding on the roads from just the heavy downpours of rain. And these storms are headed our direction more towards the east. So stay weather aware throughout the day. Again, download the WGXA SkyWatch weather app, put your location on it so that if there are any warnings over your area, you'll be able to get them immediately, and then you'll know to take shelter, to stay inside. You really do want to take this seriously today, as I'm sure this is very loud right now. Some of this thunder that's out there, thunder and lightning over Cadwell and Eastman, McRae. But the good news is that this tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. So I want to take you through kind of further today with some of the model guidance that we're showing. So as we get towards around lunchtime today, that some of those storms right now that's moving over Columbus and LaGrange kind of moves through again south of Macon, kind of in the area that we're seeing right now around lunchtime. Notice though that moves out quickly around 2, 3 o'clock. Not a lot of us are getting rain. However, another burst of energy looks to come through around 5, 6 o'clock with more widespread showers and thunderstorms. Again, we could see quite a few severe thunderstorm some severe thunderstorm warnings pop up. Again, if we do see those, the primary threat will be for damaging winds or large hail. So if you're under a warning, you really do want to stay inside. It doesn't take a lot to really down some trees or some power lines. If you do see any hail though, or anything today, any down trees, any kind of thing, once the storm has passed and you're in the clear, feel free to send us pictures on the Chime In tab with WGXA.tv. If you do see anything out there, we'd love to get your pictures. But around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, we could get another pretty strong burst of widespread storms across the area. It quiets down tonight around 9, 10 o'clock, but once again, heading out the door tomorrow morning, there could be some more bursts of rain around 8 o'clock on Thursday morning tomorrow. So definitely don't let your guard down yet for today. We will get a little break of the rain, but then it's going to activate and fire back up once again around 5 or 6 o'clock. So if we do see any more severe storms pop up, there could be some damaging winds that could knock down some trees or some power lines, or could get some very large hail as well. So this tornado warning will be allowed to expire in the next 2 minutes here, but we're still going to have the frequent lightning out there today. Could get some very heavy downpours of the rain as well, some torrential rain if you're driving out on the roads. Be careful. If you're ever pulling over when you're driving along the road, especially along the interstate or a highway, and you want to pull over because it's raining so hard, try to get off at an exit rather than pulling off right off the side of the highway so that the cars aren't moving as fast past you. Try to get off onto a ramp or an exit. Don't also park over any underpasses. That can really cause some issues. So try, if you're on the roads for future reference, try to pull over on an exit or a ramp so that you're not into the actual highway when you're pulling over with some of these heavy downpours that's coming through. So we still also have the severe thunderstorm warning that also will expire at 9:15. They may issue another one as it moves farther to the south and east, but this is still some heavy downpours right now south in southern Lawrence County, Rents moving right over 319 right now. So again, keep your guard up. We have another 30 seconds of this tornado warning. We should be able to go off the air for Master Control and everyone in the back once 9:15 hits, so that this tornado warning will be ending. And then we will be monitoring these storms all day. We're also live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Come check us out, and we will be streaming and watching these storms throughout the whole day. You can also ask us questions in the chat if you have any questions or ask anything. So there goes all the warnings off. Stay weather aware throughout the day today. If you guys want to give me a countdown for wherever we're getting a head off the air, that works as well. But we are still keeping an eye on these storms for the rest of today. Again, they could fire up, but we'll be on social media for the rest of this morning and probably the early afternoon. So come join us on Facebook and come join us on Twitter, also on YouTube. Otherwise, stay weather aware for the rest of your day and be safe. Oh, there you go.
All right, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are rolling on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram, and pretty much all your social media, YouTube, and all your social media channels that you get rely on for news. But we are here today, WGXA. It is a weather-worn day, and we are now on social media to bring into you the potential for some strong and severe weather here in Middle Georgia, which we just had another severe thunderstorm warning issued. We had a couple earlier, but they were allowed to expire at 9:15. We also had a tornado warning that was in effect. It expired also at 9:15 this morning. So let's go ahead and jump right in and take a look at what is going on right now. And should we have another tornado warning issued, then we'll jump back on the air live on TV. But right now, we'll just keep it on social media. But just know that we, as I said, just have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning issued until 9:45 this morning. You can see that here in this orange shaded box here, and that is for Lawrence, Montgomery, Treutlen, and Wheeler County. That's where we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is pretty much some of the same activity that rolled through the Eastman area, Cochran, Vidalia area this morning earlier, that prompted severe thunderstorm warnings over there, that brought about some very heavy rain, vivid frequent lightning, and you still see that is going on. Not only that, we had some hail also that was reported, and then also a weak rotation reported. That's why we had a tornado warning that went into effect in that area. The rotation stayed rather weak, so not sure there will be any damage, but if there is damage, we ask you to go to the Chime In tab on our WGXA.TV website and enter your pictures there. We would love to see any storm damage or whatever pictures you may have to present to us there on social media and on our webpage, and we actually may use those on the air if you will send them over to us. And also, now would be a great time to download our WGXA SkyWatch weather app. Perfect time to do that right now, because you get immediately whenever watches or warnings are issued across our area, just like this warning here that has been issued. But let's take a look at the radar now. You can see entering into this warning area here, severe thunderstorm warning. Look at all the red shading here. Radar's picking up very, very heavy rain in that area. And look at all the vivid frequent lightning going on there as well. And that continues to move on off to the east and to the southeast, very slightly to a southeast jog to it. But let's widen out the radar quite a bit now. We'll show you over the last 6 hours how this activity has progressed. Notice earlier this morning it started out with just a little bit of light rain moving into the Middle Georgia area. You can see that right there. Then it just kind of blossomed and it exploded, and we got these strong thunderstorm cells and complexes of thunderstorms that begin to get themselves together and roll through the area. Right now here in the Macon area, we're looking at some pretty much some moderate rain going on right now with that yellow color. We're hearing thunder from time to time out there. And notice we got a lot of lightning been detected all over Middle Georgia as well. So it's not only confined to this area here where we have the warning, but we have lightning being detected all over where we have the moderate and the heavy rain. Not only that, as I said earlier, we've also had some hail that was reported, and we'll look at our hail tracker right now and zoom in on some of the areas where we have some possible hail going on right now. And notice a little bit of showing up here in our severe thunderstorm warning area here around Highway 19, I believe that is, some hail going on there. and then some more hail just a little bit to the southwest of that. So right now, not a lot of hail going on across the area, but if we can, see if we can pull up the hail tracker and maybe put a motion on this. We can maybe see exactly where the hail has been going over the past, there we go. Now notice earlier, and it is moving a little fast, so let me slow this down just a little bit so we can get a better idea of where the hail has been coming from or where it's going. Okay, putting this in motion now, you can see we had some pretty, sometimes larger areas of some hail that moved through near the Eastman, Cadwell area, and now it's over here southwest of the Soperton area, and you can see that hail track has been right along with that severe thunderstorm that has been moving into the area there as well. So that's another component to these thunderstorms rolling through middle Georgia right now. We could have gusty winds, 60, 70, even as high as 80 miles per hour with some of these storms. We also have the hail potential. And as we saw earlier, weak rotation with a tornado warning that was issued here across the area as well. So that's going to be our story all day today. I think maybe we get into late morning, early afternoon, we may get a little bit of a break, and then this afternoon and to the early evening hours, we could end up with another round of showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could be quite heavy as well. And Ryan's been tracking this, meteorologist Ryan Mirando. He's in here with us this morning as well. So Ryan, I'm going to send it over to you and let you see what, talk about what you see on your end.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, I've been watching the Dublin camera for the past maybe 5 minutes or so as you were talking. I was seeing some lightning strikes out there. So if we could take that live, let's see if we can maybe see some of the lightning that's out there. We're looking out over the storms that are more towards the south and the southeast over there. And there goes one. That was a pretty awesome lightning strike there. So this is in Dublin right now. You are not under a severe thunderstorm warning at this moment, but this is looking kind of past I-16 and farther south. You can see kind of the lightning that's out there in the distance. And there's going to be a lot more severe thunderstorm warnings. So as we're kind of staying out here and looking at this, so the severe thunderstorm warning is for kind of the southeastern portions of Lawrence County and through Montgomery, Trutland, and Wheeler counties. But maybe we can get another lightning strike. Yeah, you can see all that lightning that's out there in the distance. So if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning today, you really do want to take them seriously and stay inside, because there could be even damaging winds that could knock down trees or power lines, or there could be hail that's also falling besides the frequent lightning and some of that heavy rain. That was, wow, that was also an epic shot. Wow, truly awesome. The weather is amazing. So I think we'll kind of maybe take it back out here live now with what's going on. So we're gonna have these waves of some showers and storms today. A lot of us are still getting a few of the lightning strikes, really still have the really strong storms right now. That's south and east in Lawrence, Montgomery, Trutland, and Wheeler counties. That's the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for the next 20 or so minutes until 9:45, and then that will likely be moving out of our viewing area. A look kind of wider though, there are still some heavy downpours that's kind of over towards Columbus, and all these storms are moving eastward, but notice kind of out further towards the west, not a lot is happening, so the storms will kind of die off here as we get towards lunchtime, 1 o'clock. We get a little bit of the lull in some of the heavy downpours and the lightning strikes, but then it's going to pick right back up as we get towards the rush hour heading back home, 5, 6 o'clock when you're heading home from work. That's when we could see another bit of activity pick up. If you're joining us live on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere, and you have a question, come in the comments and say hello. Ask us any questions that you may have for today. It is definitely going to be a good idea to stay weather aware, as we do have some pretty high risk for some of the severe weather. That darkest red there in the bottom left, that is a 4 out of 5, meaning we could see numerous storms still turn severe, especially through the afternoon hours today. Once we get kind of the sun, we normally like the sun to be out and kind of enjoy the sunshine, but it's really kind of almost a bad thing when it comes to storms, because it helps kind of to unstabilize the atmosphere, to destabilize the atmosphere. And that really helps the storms fire off and become stronger and produce more damage or anything like that. So really the sun is not always a great thing. So hopefully if we kind of get that break around 12, 1 o'clock, the clouds will stay in full force. We really don't want a lot of the sunshine, especially to reach the ground, because that could make the storms even stronger, that fire up by around 5 or 6 o'clock. So really do want to stay weather aware, especially throughout the afternoon hours once the sun's been up for several hours, and that means that the storms could begin to fire up once again. So as we're looking at the kind of potential risk, The primary threat, if we do see any of the more of the storms turn severe, which is very likely, that we will see damaging winds 50 to 60 miles per hour, cut down trees, power lines, cause a bit of damage. And for large hail, especially with some of these powerful storms, they could really cause a lot of the ice that's very high in the clouds to just kind of keep floating around and just pile on more and more hail and more ice particles until it falls. You could see golf ball, baseball sized hail potentially with the storms being strong enough. And if we kind of get the same areas that have been rained out for this morning, flooding could become a big potential, especially if you live near a creek or a river. Tornadoes still on the low end, but we got one tornado warning this morning. We could get some more, especially throughout the afternoon hours. So definitely still a good idea to keep your eye to the sky. And we still do have the one severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45 today, although really all of today and even into tomorrow, we're going to get those bands of some showers. So looking ahead, kind of what this model is showing particularly is around maybe 12 o'clock, some of the storms that is moving over Columbus and kind of western Georgia, kind of moving south of Warner Robins down through Eastman and Cordele again after the severe thunderstorm warnings take place there. So we could see some flooding as early as lunchtime today if the storms are heavy enough in the same area around 2, 3 o'clock. Hopefully we'll keep the clouds in place. Looks like we'll stay dry through these times. We could get a few showers and storms still popping up. Hopefully those clouds will really hold strong though, so that we don't get a lot of the sunshine, which can help further destabilize the atmosphere and cause more storms. And around 5 or 6 o'clock, we get more widespread showers and thunderstorms. I think this is really going to be the bulk of the time that we get the chance of some severe weather. So this is really the time to stay weather aware. Download the WGXA SkyWatch weather app. It'll give you all of the warnings that you need to know if there's any over your area, so that you can kind of plan accordingly and get into your safe area if you need to. So here's the QR code. Scan this if you can. Otherwise, go into the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the app. Really the best way to get those warnings that'll be right exactly over you. It even says it out loud, so even if your phone's across the room, it'll say severe thunderstorm warning over your area. So it's really helpful, even if you're sleeping and it's nighttime and it gives you warnings like that. Luckily, it doesn't look like most of the severe weather won't be happening overnight, but still can't entirely rule it out. So definitely still a good idea to stay weather aware, as we do have that weather warn day in place for today. Gary, I'll toss it back to you for a look at what's going on with the radar right now, though.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Let's take a look one more time before we look at radar. Let's talk about this severe storm threat level. And now we don't really see this that often here at our area, but notice on our threat level, the darkest red shaded area here, which is just southwest of the Macon, Warner Robins area, down toward the Albany area, that is a level 4 out of 5. So you can see on the color code here, level 4 out of 5. And then you have the lighter shaded area just north and east of that. That is a level 3 out of 5, and that does include Macon, Warner Robins area. And then north of that, the lighter shaded area from that you see is a level 2. So pretty much the entire state of Georgia and even westward, the entire state of Alabama and Mississippi, all the way over into South Carolina is under the gun today for the potential for strong to severe storms. But the biggest core of that appears to be right about through here, which will be south of the Atlanta area between Atlanta and Valdosta, which does include us here in Macon, Warner Robins, Columbus, Albany area, over toward the Alma area, and then over toward the coast. That seems to be the biggest corridor there for the severe threat here across the area. Now, not only could we have to deal with strong thunderstorms in the area from time to time, but we also have a flood threat across the area. We have a flood watch that has in effect, and that's showing up for the South Georgia area, but we also do have a flood watch in effect. And let me pull ours up here for Middle Georgia right quick, and we'll show you the potential here for some flooding here in Middle Georgia as well, because the flood watch is in effect for South Georgia also until Friday evening, and then we have a flood watch in effect for Middle Georgia until tomorrow evening due to some pretty heavy thunderstorm activity that could put down some pretty heavy rain. So let's go ahead and show you this one right now for Middle Georgia. Now this is for Gray, which is Jones County, all the way down. It does include Macon-Bibb toward the Twiggs County area, Cochran, all the way down to Eastman, Abbeville, and then points westward and southward. All of this green shaded area here, that is a flood watch that is in effect until tomorrow evening. And as I said, down in southwest Georgia, it's in effect until Friday evening. Due to, again, as I said, this being the area where we could see some of the heaviest rain, strongest thunderstorm activity from about south of the Atlanta area all the way down to the Valdosta area. That seems to be the place where we'll be seeing these thunderstorms and complexes of thunderstorms rolling over the same areas from time to time. So we could get some training effect as well. So we could get some thunderstorms rolling over the same area from time to time. Not only that, but these thunderstorm complexes that will be rolling through the same area there. Now we're talking about the heavy rainfall there. Let's talk about the potential for rainfall that we could see over the next 3 days. We're looking at north of the Macon-Warner Robins area. As I said, most of the active weather looks like it'll be south of Atlanta, all the way down to the Florida-Georgia line. You can see from about the Jones County, Monroe County southward is where we're starting to pick up the heavier rain. We're talking about maybe 1 to 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches near the Forsyth area. As you get into the Macon, Warner Robins area, you're talking maybe 3-4 inches of rain. And then you get south of that, you're talking 4+ possibly inches of rain down here in the orange shaded area. You can see the color code here shows 5 inches of rain. So anywhere from about Monroe County southward, we're looking at the potential for very heavy rainfall as well. And that's why the flood watch is in effect until tomorrow evening for these areas, because of some of these storms, as you can see. And it doesn't even have to be a thunderstorm. Look at this large area of rain, and some of this is moderate to heavy rain. Look at this up here near Forsyth, heavy rain going on there with that red shaded area. Toward the Butler and Warner Robins area, heavy rain. All across the area, we've got moderate to heavy rain going on. And this is not only going to stop today. We'll get a little bit of a break, then we'll have another complex roll in this afternoon into the early evening hours. Then tomorrow morning, we could wake up with another round of showers and even some heavy thunderstorms. This is going to be going on for about the next 48 hours, folks. These areas of complexes and areas of rain and thunderstorms that will be rolling through the area, then a little break, then another one will come through. And when you factor all of that in, that begins to add up rather quickly on the rainfall total. As a matter of fact, we have a flash flood warning already in effect over here near the Columbus area. You can see that green shaded box area there. Hopefully you can see it. It's not that visible with all the rain showing up there in it. But that we may actually see some more of those through the rest of the day and into tomorrow across the area because of the very heavy rain. Now let's put this radar into motion, and we'll take a look one more time at this morning. We started out really quiet. I got here at the station around 4 o'clock this morning. Nothing going on. It was just cloudy, had some fog out there. Look at what has happened since 4 o'clock this morning. We started out with a little bit of light rain moving into the area, and then it just began to blossom and expand. And now we're looking at pretty much the entire area being covered up with light, moderate, even some heavy rain going on. Here in Macon right now, we've got some moderate rain falling out there. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. This rain is falling all the way over to the Alabama line and even into Alabama. So as it moves on off to the east, it's going to continue to rain for most of the morning. And look at that large area. And again, some of it is very heavy with the thunder and lightning. Now, the good news is it looks like the concentrated area of strong thunderstorms is not as many right now. We still have one, of course, going on right here near the Butler area. But notice earlier this morning, look at that, how when it moved into Georgia, north of Columbus, right there. Look at all that thunder and lightning that was involved with that thunderstorm complex. Now seems to be spreading out just a little bit, but we are picking up some lightning data in other places, north of Macon, south of Macon. So you do know we got the heavy rain going on, thunder and lightning, and as we said, we could have some more warnings issued today as well. We have this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's zoom in on that. And then we'll send it back over to Ryan here in just a second. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Montgomery, Toombs, Treutlen, and Wheeler County until 9:45. So that's about another 12 minutes or so, 11 or 12 minutes for the area. And who knows, it may be extended to the east. We don't know that yet, but we do know that that is a severe thunderstorm warning going on there because of the heavy rain, thunder, lightning. Look at that thunderstorm right there, putting down that heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. So if you are in that area, Soperton, southward, you are getting hammered right now with very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And as we mentioned earlier, we've also had a tornado warning earlier this morning as well. So just know the potential's there for pretty much all day today. We will, I think, get a little bit of a break after late morning into early afternoon, and then possibly another round of showers and heavy thunderstorms rolling in possibly late this afternoon into the early evening hours. So we're not done with it yet. This could be something that we'll have to be watching all day today. So again, we want to remind you to go ahead and download the WGXA SkyWatch weather app if you've not already. Great app to have. There you have the information on showing up there. It will give you up-to-the-minute watches and warnings immediately as they are issued in our area. Just scan that QR code there where it says Scan Me, and it'll be downloaded right to your phone. And folks, I can't think of a better time to download this than today with these high severe storm threat levels that we have across middle Georgia right now. We don't see this very often, but they're quite high this for today. All right, we'll send it back over to Ryan right now and let him give you an update and perspective on his end.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so we have this rainfall totals that really updates every hour. So this is kind of the latest rainfall totals that have come in so far. This updated at around 9 o'clock. So Unadilla right now is the winner in terms of the rainfall totals, almost 3/4 of an inch. Byronville, just less than half an inch. Vienna, a little over 1/4 of an inch. Fort Valley even got 1/4 of an inch. So Macon got about 1/10 of an inch of rain so far, but it has come with some heavy downpours pretty quick, especially over these sensors. So really just to show some of the rainfall totals so far, and this was updated at 9 o'clock. So it's been about a half hour since then. So these are almost certainly higher than what they are showing right now. It'll update again around 10 o'clock. I think we'll kind of keep the live stream going for about the next 10 minutes until this next severe thunderstorm warning ends, and then we'll take a little break and kind of leave on the stream that we're going to take a break and then come back in a little bit. So as we get throughout the day today, we're still kind of watching and keeping an eye on that. I did pull up a new camera out over Mercer University. If you guys could take that live really fast to show you what's going on here in Macon-Bibb County. So this is a live lookout over Mercer University. 75 is still moving, got lots of clouds out there. It does look like there is a little bit of some rain that is falling. Doesn't look to be very heavy, but you can see some of those trickles coming down from the skies. You can see a little bit of that water also on the lens. So out and about today, take it a little bit slow. Hopefully these clouds will hold together for all of today, because usually the sun is a good thing. However, when the sun's kind of out, it's really not good for storm development, as the sun helps destabilize the atmosphere, which causes the storms to become even stronger. So hopefully the clouds will kind of hold in place for today. So as the sun is continuing to be up during the daytime hours, it won't be as strong for the storms that'll be firing up through the afternoon, because we will get a little bit of the lull in the rain. So we get into the early afternoon hours, but then another kind of spoke of energy looks to move through the early afternoon. So planning out the rest of your day is still definitely a good idea to stay weather aware. If you're going outside, if you must go outside, take the rain gear. Make sure you have a way to get warnings with you, just in case if one gets issued over your area, and you can kind of stay safe, kind of hunker down for that warning to exit out of the area for right now. But otherwise, we've only got the one warning out there right now. We did have the one tornado warning that was out, which has since expired. So just a lot is going on for today. And we did have that weather warn day that is issued for today, but really we'll get these kind of spokes of energy that'll come and go here over the next maybe 24 to 48 hours until probably about Thursday morning. So there's two warnings out there right now in Georgia. We have a flash flood warning that's out for Harrison, Muskogee County over near Columbus. They had some heavy downpours over there. Flash flooding, the difference between flash flooding and just regular flooding. Flash flooding comes from the torrential downpours of the rain. It's all almost basically rain-based, and there's flooding that's maybe on the roads or kind of anywhere. That's kind of flash flooding, versus regular flooding is when it kind of just overflows streams and rivers. So they have a flash flood warning that was out for some of the heavy downpours that they got earlier today. This is in effect for them until 11:45, but it does look like some of the rain is starting to cool off for them, at least for the short term. They could get a few more downpours, especially as we get through the afternoon. So we could see more of these flash flood warnings maybe pop up, or even some flood warnings. So if you live near any kind of rivers or streams, especially if you live south of Macon, that could begin to overflow today with more of the rain that's coming later in the afternoon. Just something to keep an eye on, as there could be some flash flooding. If you see any ponding on the roads, of course, do not drive to it. You always want to remember, turn around, don't drown. It doesn't take a lot of water to lose traction with your car, or even to like sweep you off your feet if you're trying to walk through it as well. So try not to get into any flooded waters on roadways. Try to swerve around it, or just turn around, don't drown. That's really the saying that it goes. And of course, the other saying is, when thunder roars, go indoors. If you hear any thunder, it's if you hear thunder, you're close enough to the storm to get struck by lightning. So you really do want to take the warnings especially seriously today, as we do have the severe thunderstorm warning that's out in the edge of our viewing area for Montgomery, Toombs, Truland, and Wheeler counties for about the next 5 minutes or so. This is for heavy downpours, frequent lightning, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. I think it's also for some hail as well. The radar's not indicating much hail at this point, south of Soperton, Glenwood, Vidalia, all kind of in the severe thunderstorm warning as it continues to push kind of to the south and east here. So Mount Vernon right now getting hit with the bulk of this heavy downpour and frequent lightning of the severe thunderstorm. The primary threat with this one is for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, but there have been reports of a little bit larger than penny size hail as well, about 1/4 of an inch size hail or less. So if you do see any hail out there today, no matter where you are, if you see some hail, send us some pictures, either tag us on social media or use the chime-in tab on WGXA.tv. Really the best ways to do it. And we'll show your picture here so that you can really see what's awesome. So you get a little moment on the TV with this, but this is still definitely a good idea. Make sure to wait until the storms stop or until it's actually much more safer. So we've just got a new severe thunderstorm warning, I think. This is it's for Houston and Peach County, actually. Okay, so this is a more populated area over here. So we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Houston and Peach County. Fort Valley right now getting a lot of the heavy downpours. That red on the radar showing a lot of the downpours for Houston and Peach County. This is again for damaging winds 60 miles per hour and for hail about 3/4 of an inch or less. So if you live in this area, if you're driving along 75, you know anyone in Warner Robins, Bon Air, Fort Valley, just south of Byron. Byron, you aren't necessarily included in this, but areas to the south of Byron is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. You definitely want to take shelter and stay inside out of the heavy downpours. And again, if you're on the roads ever and it's torrentially downpouring and you want to pull over, you really want to pull over on an exit ramp rather than pulling over right off the highway for the cars so you can really be out of the way. You never really want to pull over either under any kind of overpasses. You really do just want to pull over onto an exit. That's really the best thing. So this is the latest severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see if the radar was kind of indicating. So this kind of, when we look at the Doppler winds here, the radar is able to kind of dive deep past the actual rainfall and look at the wind structure of the storm. So that bright green is really showing that the winds are moving pretty strong. These are straight line winds. There's not really any rotation with this at all. So let me try to query this and see what the radar might be indicating. So this is indicating winds, that's about 50 miles per hour, 46. So if you're in Fort Valley right now, you really want to be inside so that if there's anything that's going to down right now, you want to be kind of away from the windows. You don't really want to have to worry about that at all. And this is Warner Robins. You are also included in the severe thunderstorm warning that's pushing east over here. So this is for some powerful straight line winds that's about to cross over 75 as well. So if you know anyone driving, maybe give them a call. If they're near Fort Valley, Warner Robins, and say you've got a pretty strong thunderstorm that's headed your way that is pushing through for right now. So this is the severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, Peach County that's in effect until 10:15, so that's about another half hour or so with this storm that's going to push eastward. Again, for some pretty long, strong straight line winds, that's going to cross over 75 and then over Warner Robins and Bon Air, 96, 75, 41, kind of all in the path of some of the storm. Maybe I can, put a little tracker on this for the next, which direction is it moving? It's moving east probably at maybe around 30 or 40 miles per hour. So let's put a bit of a tracker on this. It doesn't want to work. Numbers, thank you. Yay. Okay, so pushing this out maybe over the next half hour for the severe thunderstorm to be pushed out. So Miami Valley at 9:46, Lakeview at 9:51, Warner Robins at 10:03. So once we hit the 10 o'clock hour, this is going to be moving over Warner Robins and the bulk of it over that area, and Bon Air at 10:06. So if you live here, you really do want to take this warning seriously. Try not to go outside, stay inside. If there's any kind of large down trees, it's best to be inside. So here's that latest loop on the radar again. Maybe we can query some of these winds of what the radar could be indicating of how strong they could be. Still about 50 miles per hour. These are all really straight line winds. There's not really any rotation with this whatsoever, but this is really the big area now that we're watching. This is a pretty populated area moving across 75, Fort Valley. A few lightning strikes, but again, this is that severe thunderstorm warning. Gary, do you have any updates?
The only thing I have, Ryan, is I want to point out that severe thunderstorm warning that we were talking about just now that was just issued there for part of the Housing County area. Looking at our hail tracker, we were actually picking up just a little bit of hail earlier, and I think you can see right there where the hail report came from. It was about 0.2 inches in diameter, so a little bit of hail showing up with that particular storm currently. And other than that, right now, it just looks like some pretty heavy rain with that severe thunderstorm, possibly, as we said, some gusty winds in that area as well. So let's go back and look at our radar right quick, and we will show you what's going on across middle Georgia rain-wise. The thing about it is we keep getting these severe thunderstorm warnings popping up. One will expire, then another one will pop up, and that could be the story pretty much all day today. We could have these showers and thunderstorms, some of them quite strong, could pop up anytime. So here's the latest severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. That is for Houston and Peach County. It is in effect until 10:15 this morning. I know it's kind of hard to see with all the rain, but it's in this polygon here, the orange shaded box right here. That's where we have that severe thunderstorm warning, and it does include the city of Warner Robins and southward. So if you're around Warner Robins, if you're around Kathleen, Bonaire, anywhere in these areas, you need to be watching out for the potential of some pretty heavy rain moving into your area. Not only that, we got some lightning being detected there as well. And as Ryan just mentioned, of course, I hope you're not outside or going to be outside with it pouring down rain like this, but if you are and you see and you hear thunder, if you hear thunder, you need to get indoors, because if you do hear the thunder, you can be struck by lightning. So not only is that an issue, but we got the thunder, lightning, we got the heavy rain, we got some hail going on here in middle Georgia, and we've also got some heavy rain producing some flooding going on. We have a flash flood warning over around the Columbus area due to some very heavy rain. We could have some more of those issued even across our area later today. So let's widen out the radar and let's take another look at it here, and you can see, as I've been talking about all morning, earlier this morning, we were totally rain-free here in middle Georgia. Here about, let's say, 5, 6 o'clock, we saw the rain moving into the state of Georgia there from Alabama. And watch how it has just blossomed in coverage, and not only that, but intensity. So we go from this to this now. So it's moving into some juicy air. It's prime here for these thunderstorms to develop and put down some heavy rain across the area. And this is the area where we also have very high severe threat levels going on today as well. We'll go ahead and show you that now. And we do not, folks, we don't see this very often here in middle Georgia, but we are looking at it today, actually in the state of Georgia as well. We have a level 4 that is from about the Columbus area over toward, I would say, maybe around the Cordell area down toward Albany, and then stretching over into Alabama, southern Alabama. That's where we have a level 4, folks. That's a pretty high level here, pretty high confidence that we could see some severe weather there today. And then just north of that and east and a little south of that, in the lighter shaded area here, which does include Macon, Bibb, and Warner Robins, that's where we have a level 3 today. And then the lighter tan shaded area here is where we have level 2. And then up here in South Carolina, that's where we have level 1. So the entire state of Georgia, everywhere here, the entire state is under the gun today for the potential of a few strong thunderstorms. And as we've already seen this morning here in middle Georgia, we've seen severe thunderstorm warnings. We even had one tornado warning that was issued earlier this morning. It was allowed to expire at 9:15. We don't know if there was any damage or not, but we do know Doppler radar was picking up some rotation in the atmosphere. It was Doppler indicated some weak rotation. So there's the thing there. We actually didn't see strong rotation on radar. We kind of saw a broad rotation, a little bit of rotation from time to time, really nothing on the debris tracker. So we're keeping our fingers crossed and hopefully nothing really happened with that storm. But as we've been telling you all morning, if you do have storm pictures, because this is a day where you could get straight line wind damage. Some of these thunderstorms rolling through, you don't have to have a tornado. You can have straight line wind damage that could come through and take down some trees and some limbs out of trees and things like that. So if you happen to experience any type of wind damage, or maybe if you got some hail falling and it's, you know, you want to send that picture to us, use the Chime In tab on our website, WGXA.tv. We would certainly love to see that. but make sure you do it in a safe manner. We don't want you to go outside and it's hailing and thundering and lightning just to get a picture, or the wind's blowing like crazy. We want you to make sure it's safe. Make sure you're safe, and then if you can, get those pictures and send them to us, because we would love to see them. But this is going to be an off and on story, Ryan, pretty much all day today, especially this morning into late morning. And as Ryan has already said, we may get a little bit of break around lunchtime or a little bit after, and then late this afternoon into possibly even the early nighttime hours, we could end up with another round of some possibly strong storms across the area. So when it gets done this morning, we're not done yet.
Yeah, exactly, Gary. So I did want to show you kind of the future models again. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit, we've got these kind of spokes of energy that are riding along up front that stalled out over us. So we're going to have a lull really during the early afternoon, and then I think the bulk of the heavy downpours and the potential for severe weather will be coming on later this evening, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So let's play this out really on the radar right here. So as we get towards 12 o'clock this afternoon around lunchtime, still have some heavy downpours over areas that have already really been hit with some heavy rain. We get a little bit of some a break of the action around 1, 2, 3 o'clock. We still can have a few areas of some drizzle and some downpours still, but not seeing the really heavy rain. And then as we get later into the afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock, that's when we get another kind of big bulk. And I think this will be the big time to really see some of the severe potential risks. So you definitely want to have multiple ways of getting warnings for today, if any are issued over your area, so that you can really take them seriously, stay inside around 6, 7, 8 o'clock, really all of this evening. I would stay weather aware if you have any outdoor plans. Some people were asking on Facebook that they have some swim lessons. I think it would be probably better to err on the side of caution and cancel those for today. I think by tomorrow afternoon it should be better, but even as we get towards tomorrow morning, we're dry for most of the night, still lots of clouds, and then heading back to work tomorrow, 7, 8 o'clock, here comes another line of some storms. So a few spokes of energy are kind of funneling through the atmosphere and into the southeast. And then as we get throughout the day on Thursday, still going to have some areas of some drizzle, but I think by this point, it'll be mostly just some showers if we do see anything. And then Friday, we really completely dry out. So the next really few days, really all of today and some of the morning tomorrow was the kind of heavy hitters for this. If you have any evening plans today, try to keep it inside. A great night for a movie night, maybe some Netflix or Disney Plus. If you haven't watched the new Avatar movie, it's 3 hours long, so you could probably watch that for a few hours to really get something done safely inside with some of these storms. So in terms of the threats, though, if we do see any more of the severe storms turn severe, really the primary threat again is for damaging winds and large hail. So the straight line winds can still cause a lot of damage and down some trees, even could knock something into your house. So you really want to be inside if you do have the severe thunderstorm warnings over top of you. And also there could be some large hail that falls from some of the more powerful storms that have a lot of updrafts. As we get through the later hours tonight and tomorrow morning, if it's going to rain over the same area, we could have some flooding risk and flooding potential. So if you see any ponding on the roads, turn around and don't drown. And again, we had that one tornado warning earlier this morning. We could have some more as we get towards the afternoon and even into the afternoon and tomorrow morning as we get through the rest of today and into tomorrow. So kind of showing the kind of the flood watch. Again, the difference between flash flooding and flooding. Flash flooding is when you get from some of the heavy torrential downpours of the rain. It's all like rain based. These flood watches are for more rivers and kind of streams. That's through Thursday evening. So all these areas shaded here, if you live near a river or stream, some of that could be overflowing, especially through the areas that get those heavy downpours of rain. It's going to be very localized exactly where some of that flooding could set up, but just to keep that in mind over the next 48 hours with some of the rain that's really taking place. So here's the current radar loop that's happening right now. Most of us are still getting hit with some sort of light to moderate downpour. We do have the one severe thunderstorm warning for Houston and Peach County until 10:15. So that's going in place for another 23 minutes or so, 22 minutes until this expires. This is for strong straight line winds. Of course, it comes with frequent lightning, heavy downpours, not showing a ton of hail. There could be some small hail in this, but it's mostly for some strong winds. But notice here on the radar, this is some dark, dark red, especially over Warner Robins and Bon Air right now. 75, if you're driving along 75, sure, seeing some of that heavy downpour near Marshallville and Perry as well. So maybe let's break this down. Let's see if there's any hail in the storm specifically. The radar is not showing any hail that was on this radar right now. So that's some good news for this. But let's look at the velocity to kind of see. This is able to kind of dive deep past the rain, and able to see the wind structure of the storm. So the greens are moving towards the radar site. And it's good news that it's all green, as it's not really showing too much rotation in the atmosphere. For the rotation and tornadoes, you want to see the reds right next to the greens. That's what we're looking for when we have a tornado rotation potential, but for right now it's all the greens. So this is more straight lines, one direction winds. It has come down earlier when I was looking at this. They were 50 miles per hour. They look to be in the 30s now. Just because it's negative, that means it's moving in a certain direction, but still seeing the pretty strong winds. They're not as strong, so that is some good news that this looks like it's weakening some of the winds, but could have some damage really over State Route 96. It's really almost riding along State Route 96 right now. I think most of the extreme kind of severe wind gusts are past 75 at this point. Still have some pretty strong winds. There's 35 miles per hour just south of Byron, so this is really the tornado, or not tornado, this is the severe thunderstorm warning that we're still watching over Warner Robins right now in Bonaire. Fort Valley, all still included in a severe thunderstorm for potentially damaging winds that could knock down some trees. So if you live in this area, you still definitely want to be inside. And of course, for future reference, if you're driving on the roads and you want to pull over because it is just raining so heavily, you want to pull over on an exit or an exit ramp instead of right off the highway. It's just a little bit more safer with other cars going by. And never really park underneath overpasses. That's really not a safe option for those cars that are moving on by. So this is in effect until around 10:15. So that's still going on for a little while. The other one that was severe thunderstorm warned that was kind of south and east has now just been kind of downgraded to a strong thunderstorm. This is now really moving out of our viewing area over Vidalia, but here's kind of a wider view exactly what's going on with the radar. Most of us are still seeing some sort of rain. Still the most heaviest downpours right now is in Houston County, right along 75, Warner Robins, Perry, and still down towards Montezuma. Just had the heavy downpours. Now moving into Dooley County. Americus could see a bit of a heavy downpour right now with that red kind of really, the darker kind of the red colors, the heavier the downpours. Even in portions of Jones County, not a lot of lightning. There's a few lightning strikes, but there's still quite a lot of heavy downpours here as well near Gray and Round Oak. That kind of that oranger and that red on the radar, even towards Milledgeville and Baldwin County, getting some of the heavy downpours. So for the rest of today, just a good idea to stay weather aware, as we could see some more risk for some of the severe storms to be popping up. I think we will try to stay with the severe thunderstorm warning, especially for this kind of big area through Peach and Houston County until 10:15. Hopefully there won't be any more severe thunderstorm warnings and we can take a little bit of a break and rest our voices here. And for everyone working so hard in the back, thank you for existing. But we're getting a lot of the heavy downpours right now. This is still a little bit further south this is now into Dooley County. So Byronville, this is actually right over where that rain gauge is. We'll actually look at that at 10 o'clock. So that should be updating at 10 o'clock. We can get some of the latest rainfall totals that are coming out. So right over Byronville, hopefully this will kind of continue to rain for the next 3 minutes and we can see kind of how much the rain has increased. It's moving over towards Unadilla, Pinehurst, about to get hit with some more of those heavy downpours. Hawkinsville still getting hit with some moderate rain, maybe a little bit of some light rain. Even in Lawrence County down towards Dublin, not any lightning out for you right now, but some more of those heavy downpours. Montrose, Dudley, Dexter, getting a little bit of that heavy downpours. Maybe we can kind of show the Dublin camera again. Let me pull that up for you guys to see. All right, that should be playing out now. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the rain coming down over in Dublin if you guys could take that live for me for the next minute or so. There is this is out over Dublin. You can really see the rain kind of falling out over the trees right now. Let me see if I can maybe move this down a little bit. There's, again, not really much lightning going on, but it's definitely coming down over Dublin right now. Hopefully these clouds will still hold in place so that the atmosphere and the energy with it kind of stays at a minimum, so that this rain that we're getting right now will help kind of stabilize the atmosphere so that we don't really see as much of the severe activities or strong thunderstorms later. We are hoping for that. So let me give this another minute or so, waiting for my rainfall totals to update. I hope that'll kind of work right around 10 o'clock, and then we'll see what they update to. So let me show you one more time what they look like right now. So this right now is some of the rainfall totals Again, Unadilla has almost 3/4 of an inch. Byronville, I think, is almost certainly going to go up. I think that'll be the interesting one to watch. Right now, they're at just under a 1/2 inch of rain. So when this updates at 10 o'clock here in the next minute or so, I think this will be interesting to see. Fort Valley could also get a big jump up with that severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up for you and for Warner Robins. Warner Robins right now only had about a trace of an inch of rain. So I think this will be interesting to see how the rainfall totals jump up here as the 10 o'clock hour hits. These should update immediately at 10 o'clock, and then I think it'll be interesting. So maybe it should be able to change in real time without me having to push the button. So let's see if that'll update. It's almost 10 o'clock. But really, even for Macon, it's Macon even on here. We have Macon's down on the bottom left there with about a 1/10 of an inch. Byron also at a 1/10 of an inch. I think it's going to be interesting to see how these kind of update. Okay, so some of them are coming through right now. I see the one kind of model ran. Let's see if it'll run it should run here in the next 30 seconds or so, hopefully. Okay, there it goes. It updated. Wow, boom, look at that. So here's the latest updates now. Fort Valley was at, what was it, about 1/4 of an inch? Now it's over an inch of rain. Byronville didn't get that much. They were just under a 1/2 an inch. Wait, yeah, they were just under 1/2 an inch, and now they're about a 1/2 inch. Unadilla got a little bit more, not too much noticeable. Macon got not that much more. They were at about 1/10 of an inch. Now it's about 0.15. Perry got a little bit more too, but really Fort Valley got the big one. The rain went right over the rain gauge. It was, I think that was 1/4 of an inch before, and now it's up to over an inch. So these numbers will continue to climb though as we get through the rest of this afternoon. So that was pretty interesting to see. And again, we'll get a little bit of a lull in the action around 2, 3 o'clock. Then this afternoon, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m., we'll get another pretty big downburst of some rain. Gary, do you have any more updates with some of this stuff as well?
Yeah, we'll take it. I guess we're going to go until the severe thunderstorm warning expires, which is supposed to be about 10:15. But I was really impressed to see that Fort Valley rain total jump up, to like a little over an inch there. And I think we're going to see some more increases pretty dramatically as we're looking at Warner Robins, where we had a severe thunderstorm warning. As you can see right now, looking at our radar. If we could, let me jump back over to the radar right quick, because we are looking at some pretty heavy rain falling right now in the Warner Robins area. The good news is it doesn't look like we have anything severe going on. Do we still have that severe thunderstorm warning? Okay, yeah, it's still there. I couldn't hardly see the orange box for all the rain that's falling out there. But yeah, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Houston and Peach County. And that's until about 11:15 this morning, so that's about another 13 minutes. And you can see that orange shaded polygon area right here, which does include the city of Warner Robins. Notice all this red shading here. That's some very, very heavy rain falling. Notice we got a lot of lightning detected in there as well. Southward, down toward Perry, and even south of Perry toward the Unadilla, Montezuma area. We're picking up some pretty heavy rain there as well. We'll kind of pull that up a little bit so you can see that. Kind of got a line setting up right now from about east of Warner Robins. What's that? Oh, they canceled it. Okay, well then we'll just finish what we're saying, and then we'll just take a little break here on Facebook. But kind of got a line from east of Warner Robins right on down to Unadilla, Montezuma, stretching down to north of Americus. Look at that line of heavy rain and thunderstorms moving off to the east and the southeast. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and close out our Facebook and our social media live event right now. And just know that if any more warnings pop up, we'll come right back and let you know the latest. And definitely if we get any tornado warnings, we'll be on the air as well. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break right now. Thank you guys back in the back for helping us out do all of this. And thank you for watching and being a part of our Facebook Live this morning.